Gonzalo Octavio Chalito Araujo was a teenage cartel boss and hitman assassin. His reign was short-lived as he officially joined the drug industry at the age of 18 and died before he was 21 years of age. His reign may have been short, but his impact was strong and historical. Want to know more about this cartel boss? Sit back and enjoy. What is Chalito's backstory? Gonzalo Octavio Araujo grew up in the 6 de Enero neighborhood, located next to the popular Tierra Blanca. He was a happy, mischievous, and restless kid known for his ability to make friends and was well loved. There are stories of how he liked to sell bread in his neighborhood, though he sold most of it to his relatives. He was such a cheerful and innocent child that he would ask for pesos from the truckers on the Cucas route in the streets near his home while playing games. Chalito, whose full name is Gonzalo Octavio Araujo Sauzueta, is the son of Gonzalo Araujo Payan, an infamous narcotraficante. Gonzalo Araujo Payan, also known as Chalo Araujo, was a high-ranking member of the CDS, the Zambada faction of the Sinaloa Cartel under Ismael Mayo, Zambada aka El Mayo. Chalo Araujo was a sicario, hitman assassin who worked as a judicial police officer before joining the cartel industry full-time. He was known as a brutal and ruthless sicario who ran his cell of sicarios. The cell was aimed to carry out his hits for his boss, El Mayo, as a loyal member of the Zambada faction. He was also a crucial member of the Sinaloa Cartel, as he led many drug distributions, sales, and deals under the Zambada faction. Chalo's success as a narcotraficante and a sicario made him into a feared and respected player in the cartel industry. However, his reign came to an abrupt end when he was found dead in his house in 2006. He was thought to be killed by his rivals initially before the truth behind his death was revealed later. He died at the age of 42 but was survived by many family members including his son Chalito Araujo. Chalito's aunt, Giselle, reported in an interview that Chalito was fascinated by weapons and enjoyed lighting fireworks during his childhood. Growing up, he had always seen his father Chalo Araujo armed, which caught his attention and piqued his interest. He has been captured in videos where he was firing arms and enjoying the activities like that of fireworks. In a series of pictorials highlighting his childhood, Chalito reflected the innocence and nobility of a child. So, what made him join the drug industry? It can be assumed that, just like most kids born into the cartel industry, he would end up in it. However, what led to Chalito joining the industry was led to his father's death and how it all happened. Despite being born to an infamous narcotraficante and witnessing activities of the drug industry, he only became involved in organized crime and the use of weapons at the age of 18. Chalito Araujo and his clan discovered that Chalo Araujo was not murdered by his rivals but by a hit ordered from El Mayo, his boss. El Mayo, the boss of the Zambada faction, was said to be responsible for coercing Chalito's father into committing suicide since he gave him options to kill himself or be killed. Regardless of what led to the hit order, the Araujo clan was infuriated by how Chalo Araujo was treated despite his loyalty and service to his boss. They believed that he didn't deserve to get an ordered hit from his boss when he didn't betray him and what he did was an accident. Chalito Araujo's resentment against the boss of the Zambada faction of the Sinaloa Cartel and thirst for revenge made him defect to the Beltran-Leyva organization. The Beltrán-Leyva cartel organization was originally headed by the 5 Beltrán-Leyva brothers as a branch of the Sinaloa Cartel. Due to an internal crisis after the arrest of one of its leaders, they had split from the Sinaloa Cartel. This organization is infamous as one of Mexico's most powerful drug cartels and organized crime syndicates. However, as of today, the cartel is said to have disbanded according to the Mexican authorities after capturing the last of its leaders, Héctor Beltrán-Leyva. At Beltrán-Leyva organization, he reigned as a cartel boss in a group created under the organization. He was known as a loyal, brutal, and ruthless sicario who went down in history as one of the most feared sicario of his time, even though short-lived. Though his main reason for joining the cartel industry was to assassinate all those involved in his father's death, he was involved in pretty much all that went down in the cartel. This includes drug trafficking, human trafficking, arms trafficking, kidnapping, gun running, smuggling, murder of women and children, extortion, and so on. The Beltrán-Leyva organization was the perfect platform for Chalito to step into the limelight in his journey as a cartel boss. They both had the same enemies, that is, El Mayo, El Chapo, and other people affiliated with the Sinaloa Cartel. The Beltrán-Leyva organization led by Arturo Beltrán-Leyva was out to get the Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, a cousin of the Beltrán-Leyva brothers and leader of the Sinaloa Cartel. El Chapo was believed to have sold out Alfredo Beltrán-Leyva, the then leader of the organization, for capture by the federal police. After joining the organization, Chalito tracked down some of the family members of El Mayo, his father's boss, who kidnapped and killed them all on his own. He did this as a sort of message to El Mayo that was coming for him. This bold move from him led to his reputation as a brutal and ruthless sicario. He soon climbed up the ranks and became one of Arturo's trusted hitmen. It was reported by a relative that Chalito looked up to Arturo like a son looks up to a father. The trust Arturo Beltrán-Leyva had in him, as well as his expertise, led him to be appointed as the leader of the infamous Los Charritos, in which he ruled as a brutal and ruthless cartel boss. Chalito was known as the Terror of Culiacan, where he was the leader of the Los Charritos enforcement group during the Sinaloa Cartel Civil War in 2008. He was 19 years old at the time. The Charritos comprised a crew of young assassins that pursued a common goal. The members were tight-knit as they were known to have grown up together, and were also aggressive as they had a point to prove. The Charritos was a brutal hit squad formed by the Beltrán-Leyva organization after it split from the Sinaloa Cartel. The group was created to fight against El Chapo, El Mayo, and the rest of the enemies of Arturo Beltrán-Leyva. They are known to be connected to the numerous assassinations of Mexican police officials during their peak. The group was also known for its heavy presence in the US, especially Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. There, the members carried out the activities of the Beltrán-Leyva organization and tracked down their enemies. The squad was known to unleash terror upon its enemies and the people who stood in its way in the city of Culiacan. Chalito and his squad were Los Anthrax Nightmare, a group created to give protection to El Mayo's sons. During the Sinaloa Cartel Civil War in 2008 to 2009, Chalito Araujo led the Charritos to fight against the likes of Manuel Torres Felix for the plaza of Culiacan, causing havoc in the city. He was known and feared alongside his crew, hence the title, the Terror of Culiacan. The Charritos was known as the most active hit squad of the Beltrán-Leyva organization. Fueled by the circumstances leading to his father's death, Chalo Araujo Payan, and the emergence of the Sinaloa Cartel Civil War, Chalito was on a rampage. He couldn't be stopped until he met his demise on the 16th of December 2009. Chalito Araujo was known to be ruthless and merciless, as well as a highly competent tracker. Chalito Araujo was one loyal lad as he did everything he could for his boss Arturo Beltrán-Leyva. This was evident in the circumstances surrounding his death. He died during an open fire confrontation from the Mexican Navy alongside his boss at an apartment complex in Cuernavaca, Mexico. Contrary to popular opinions that he died by jumping from the apartment complex of his boss after he was shot, which was believed that he did as a sign that he would rather die on his own than be captured. Chalito Araujo died outside the apartment complex where he received 3 fatal shots. He was said to be making an entry through the parking lot to rescue his boss when he was gunned down. This was confirmed by his aunt in an interview years later after his death. She said it took 3 days for his family and the authorities to confirm his death as they believed he was still alive, since they were not aware of all that happened. He was laid to rest at the Jardines de Lumaya Pantheon. Gonzalo Octavio Chalito Araujo went from a cheerful, mischievous, and well-loved kid to a brutal, ruthless, and feared cartel boss. The city of Culiacan will forever remember the cartel boss known as the Terror of Culiacan. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, click on the notification button so that you will get our new videos firsthand. Thank you.